In this video, we'll be talking about the phylum Hemichordata. In the previous video, we have mentioned the basic diagnostic features of the chordates, and we have mentioned the features that we are going to see in a chordate to know that this is a typical chordate. And we mentioned 5 basic diagnostic features, and these diagnostic features include the notochord, the nerve cord, the pharyngeal slits, the posternal tail, and the endostyle. And we mentioned that these diagnostic features is present in the embryonic stage of all chordates. And during their development, we can have some it persists throughout their life cycle or throughout their entire life. Some it becomes vestige or it disappears once they grow up, and some it becomes modified into another structure to serve a particular purpose. And we mentioned the example of notochord being persistent in lamprey, but it is being modified into for the vertebral column in the vertebrates. And we mentioned the posternal tail that is present in the embryo of a vertebrate, but it becomes vestige when they become developed, when they become a fully developed organism. And in this video, what I'll be talking about is one of the subphylum that we mentioned under the classification of chordata. And you will notice that in this case I mentioned the phylum Hemichordata. Why do we say phylum? We say chordate is a phylum already, but we are still saying phylum is under phylum. Is that possible? It is supposed to be a subphylum, but why am I still mentioning it as what? As a phylum. Now I'll be saying the reason why I called it a phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordate gotten from the Greek word hemi and chorda, which is half and string. So we can say they are what? They are a group of animals that are sharing half of the characteristics of a chordate. This group is controversial, and some taxonomists classify it as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata, while some consider it as a separate phylum. Now, why are they considered as subphylum under Chordata, and why are they classified as a separate phylum? That is what we are going to be talking about next. You see, chordata, the hemichordates, they show a characteristic of both the chordates and the echinoderm. The chordate and the what? And the echinoderm. So we can say they are intermediates between the chordates and the what? And the echinoderm. So they are what? They are intermediate between the chordate and the echinoderm. More recently, hemichordates were regarded as sufficiently different from chordates, but to justify the reason why they are different from chordates is to justify their establishment of a separate related phylum. You understand? Now, hemichordates are tricoelomates, and this tricoelomate is the structure, a typical structure of a deuterostome. You understand? A deuterostome. Now, hemichordate has 3 body regions, and these body regions are protosome, mesosome, and the metasome. So these are the 3 body regions that we're having for hemichordates. So we have the protosome, the mesosome, and the metasome. The protosome is short and it is conical. You understand? It's a conical proboscis from which the name acornworm is derived. You understand? So they have a name. The name is what? Is acornworm. So it's a conical. You understand? Conical, and it is a conical proboscis. And these conical proboscis perform different functions in different classes of Hemichordata. Basically, we have 2 classes. We have the enteroneust that is marked in red, and we have the pterobranch that is marked in purple. So the enteroneust, the proboscis serve as a shield-shaped structure, while enterobranch it serve as it secretes the tubes in the pterobranch. Understand? It secretes the tube in pterobranch. Now, the mouth of the mouth opens to the anterior edge of the collar. I will show you a structure of a typical hemichordate where you will see the conical proboscis, the collar. Now, the pterobranchs, in pterobranchs, you understand, in pterobranchs, it is elaborate. It bears arms and tentacles, which forms a food gathering organ. So the proboscis in pterobranchs, what it does is what? The collar rather, the collar, what it does in pterobranchs is what? It forms a food gathering organ. Now the metasome now form a greatly elongated abdomen, towards the what? Towards the end of their body. Are you getting me now? Now in some common or many other sessile hemichordates, tube-dwelling animals, they have a U-shaped gut, which I'll be showing you an example very soon. Now this is the structure of a typical hemichordate. So if you notice very well, this is a proboscis. The proboscis is what? Is conical. It looks like a cone. You understand? It is conical. And between this proboscis and the collar, there's something we call the proboscis stalk. We call this proboscis stalk. When I'm describing the body form of a chordate, you get that. Now in this collar, the collar is now covering the mouth. You understand? It is covering the mouth. Now you now see the body is now elongated downward. If you now check very well, they have a what? They have a U-shaped gut. Can you see? They have a U-shaped gut. But if you check their abdomen, the abdomen is elongated laterally. And what do I mean by lateral elongation? I mark it in red. So look at it. It elongates like this. And it forms something we know as genital flap or genital wing. Are you getting me now? It forms a genital flap or a genital wing. So we can say the digestive system is complete because it starts from the mouth, which is enclosed by the collar, and end in the anus, which is used for what? Which is used for excretion. You understand? Now, we can now proceed to the classes of hemichordates. Hemichordate is classified into two, that is enteroneus and the pterobranchs. And the characteristic of the enteroneus and the pterobranchs are stated below. We have the size of them to be different, as well as the species. We have about 70 described species of enteroneus and only 3 small genera of pterobranchs. But our basic focus today will be on the enteroneus. That will be our basic focus today. And what are enteroneus? Enteroneus are a class, and they can be referred to as acorn worm from the word conical proboscis. Are you getting me now? They are acorn worm, and they live in both shallow and deep water. They live in a U-shaped burrow. The image that I showed you the other time is a typical acorn worm. Now, in this burrow, they dig into the mud, sand, or clay. The body length differs about 9 to 450 millimeter, but only one species, which is Balanoglossus gigas, is recorded to grow up to 1.5 meter long. Balanoglossus gigas. So, since we are dealing with enteroneus and we have a representative which is Balanoglossus gigas, hence our basic biology today will be the biology of Balanoglossus gigas, which is a typical representative of the class Enteroneusta. Let us proceed. Now, these are Balanoglossus gigas. This is a Balanoglossus gigas. If you check the body very well, it is worm-like. It looks like a worm. Are you getting me now? And when they see something looks like a worm, it is elongated. Do you understand now? Now, I forgot to mention something. I said that they possess a characteristics that makes them to look like a chordate and also makes them to look like like an echinoderm. Now, what are those characteristics that make them to look like a chordate and echinoderm? So let us say characteristic similar to what? Similar to chordates, and the one similar to what? Echinoderm. Are you getting me now? Now, in chordates, they possess pharyngeal slits. So let me use PS. They possess pharyngeal slits, and this pharyngeal slit is used primarily for filter feeding, and secondarily for respiration. So they can be used for respiration as well. So they are used primarily for filter feeding and secondarily for respiration. They produce a rudimentary notochord. Let me just use noto C. Notochord. They possess a rudimentary notochord, and they possess a what? They possess I've mentioned pharyngeal slits, right? I've mentioned notochord, and they possess a nerve cord as well. The nerve cord. Now, you now see this nerve cord. It is making them relating to the echinoderm as well, because they possess a let me say elongated nerve cells. And these nerve cells, it is relating to subepithelial plexus of the echinoderm. Subepithelial plexus of the echinoderm. And also they possess a swimming larva. A swimming what? A swimming larva. A swimming larva. And this swimming larva is relating to the larva of what? Larva of the starfish. So I can say a swimming larva relating to the one of what? Of starfish in the sand. So these are the things that they use in resembling chordates as well as echinoderm. The first one is the pharyngeal slit, which is used primarily for filter feeding and secondarily for respiration. The notochord, which is rudimentary, and the nerve cord. And they possess elongated nerve cell, which is resembling the subepithelial plexus of the echinoderm. And they have a swimming larva, you understand, that is relating to that of what? Of starfish, you understand. So let us proceed. Let us talk about the body form of Balanoglossus, which I've described generally. The body form, they have a short proboscis. That is what you have to note. They have a proboscis. All of them have proboscis, but Balanoglossus gigas have a very short proboscis. And this proboscis is connected to the collar, and the collar, it is connected to the collar by what we know as a narrow proboscis stalk. In the next this thing, it is labeled as collaret. Now, the collar is short and it is cylindrical form. Are you getting me now? Now they now have a long abdomen, but this long abdomen is flattened at the anterior and it extends laterally to form what? Genital flap. I think I've showed that before. They form a what? They form a genital flap. And this genital flap, what does it contain? It contains the gonad. Are you getting me now? Now they have about 50 pairs of gill pores. I get me now. About 50 pairs of what? Gill pores. And these gill pores are found partially obscured on the genital flap. I get me now. Now, they now have what we know as the phylum. But their phylum, which is their body cavity, is filled with connective tissue and muscle fiber, which in other animals it is filled with body wall muscles in other animals, you understand. But the body, like their body, the whole body is covered by what? Ciliated epidermis. You understand? Ciliated epidermis. Are you getting me now? In which the collar and the proboscis is highly granular and they secrete mucus. I will tell you what mucus is used for as we are proceeding. So they secrete mucus which lines the burrow. Now, this is a typical structure of a Balanoglossus. They have a conical proboscis. They have a collar. The collar is connected by a collaret, which is known as the proboscis stalk. And they have a long abdomen, which extends downward, but it extends laterally to form a what? To form a genital wing or a genital flap. And they have gill pores. About 50 pairs of gill pores. That is what they have. They have about 50 pairs of gill pores. Now, if you check very well, they have hepatic ceca. The hepatic ceca is used for what? Is used for respiration as well. Are you getting me now? Which we'll be mentioning as we are proceeding. Now, Balanoglossus is a sluggish animal, but if they ever leave their burrow, they live by the peristaltic movement of the proboscis. They live by the what? By the peristaltic movement of the proboscis. And before they now retreat backward to the surface and to defecate, they live in the burrow. You understand? They live in the burrow, but they move within the burrow with the aid of their cilia. But if they want to move outside, they move outside to come and defecate, to come and excrete waste. And the waste is excreted in form of cast that is similar to that of what? That's similar to that of earthworm, which is polychaete. You understand? Earthworm. Now, Balanoglossus ingests large quantity of sand and mud, which is digested which digest organic matter, and this food is composed of microorganisms and organic particles. Now, enteroneus, they are filter feeders. Enteroneus are filter feeders. Now, they secrete what we know as mucus. Once they create a filter, the feeding current. Once they create a feeding current, water is going to flow through the collar, through the proboscis, through they will suck the sand through the proboscis, flows into the what, into the collar. Now there is a mucus. What a mucus does is that it's going to trap the food, and once it is trapped, once it is entangled, it is going directly into the mouth. But if the animal does not wish to feed, what they do is that they cover the mouth with their collar. Once they cover it with their collar, once it has been covered with their collar, then they can now the unwanted material can now pass through, like they pass over the collar. So this is a method of them rejecting food if they do not want to eat it. Now, Balanoglossus ingest large quantity of sand. I think I've mentioned this before. Now, the guts, their guts extend as a straight tube to the end of the abdomen. They have a pharynx, which leads to the esophagus. Are you getting me now? And the gut is complete. It is complete from the mouth to the anus. And the principal function of this is digestion, absorption, and digestion, absorption, and excretion. You understand? That's the principal focus of feeding and digestion. So the digestion, the absorption, and the excretion. And what do they excrete? They excrete through the what? Through the terminal anus. Now, this is a typical what? A typical Balanoglossus image. We have the proboscis, we have the collar, we have the collar stalk here, or the proboscis stalk, we have the branchial region, we have the genital wing, we have the mucosal ridge, hepatic ceca, hepatic region, and the anus. And this is the genital wing here, which consists of what? Of the gonad. So we can proceed to what? We can proceed to the reproduction and development of Balanoglossus. The sexes are separate.